For powering the Starlink, I'm going to dismantle a few things in the truck camper. I originally was going to order a smart plug receptacle, basically an inlet that uses keystone style connectors, but then I remembered about this door and I opened it and realized, oh yeah, this has keystone style connectors. So keystone is an industry standard. It's just the name for the style of connector. It attaches into a little square hole. Generally you see these in business applications like commercial buildings, and you can get this style of a network port and TV and phone and all kinds of stuff. Audio jacks for residential application too. Home Depot actually sells them. That's where I bought a bunch of network and phone jacks for my house. So I'm going to take my oven out so I can get access to the back of this. Pull out one of these cable TV jacks. One of them is actually satellite. One of them is a RV park cable, which nobody uses that anymore. I don't even know why RV manufacturers still install this. Once the oven is out, we can poke around back here and see everything. So that big black wire and white wire is the cable TV and satellite wiring. Let's get a flashlight back in here. So the keystone connectors are right above that little metal plate. So I'm just going to pick one. The connectors are secured into the little mounting plate sideways like this. So the release tab happens to be facing towards the rear of the truck camper. That was the easiest one to pull out because you end up having to kind of rock it back this way. Here's the 12 volt to 24 volt converter that I ordered. Here's a roll of wire. This is 14 gauge 2 conductor wire. And then here is the power port. So I was describing earlier, this is called a keystone jack. Here's a wall plate that I've used in my house for various things. So it's industry standard. Here's a phone jack. Here's an audio jack. So it just pops in like that and then clips into place. So this is going to make a really nice configuration for getting the wire set up so that I can power the Starlink from outside of the camper and not have to have wires running through a window or a door or a compartment or anything like that. So like some of the other stuff, I'll have links to these items in the description below. Everything on the inside is finished as well. So my 12 volt to 24 volt converter is right back here. I have my input wiring coming in here. It goes along the back side of the counter where I have other wires routed, and then my output wiring is right here, and then it drops down to where the jack is right back there. So let's take a look over here. I added another switch over on my control panel, so it's going to be this furthest left switch, and I have an indicator light. All of my switches here have indicator lights on them. Probably I will label these now that I've got 4 switches. Just plug in your Starlink cable. There you go, you're done. I actually measured the voltage out here and we are at about 24.4 volts. So that ensures it will never have an issue with improper voltage. The Starlink has a voltage range input of 12 to 48 volts. I measured out, so from the jack all the way to the back of the camper and then all the way up, we're just about 10 feet. So I think I'm going to go ahead and order a 10-foot cable that has a barrel jack on both ends. That way I don't have to use the big long cable that came with the Starlink and have all that excess coiled up. So this will work really good for powering the Starlink when it's on the roof, or if I'm camped in the shade and have access to clear sky with no trees, then I can plug in there and use the long cable and run the cable out where I don't have any trees.